What is up, you guys? It's New Age Bohemian, and today we're talking about the human experience. So today I wanted to do a little talk more than a lecture. This is unscripted because I thought it's more of introductory. I want to end up doing 3 lectures on these 3 topics in the human experience. Today is more of a talk with you guys, and not so factual based, but more of my opinion and how I've understood it through a lot of teachings from different religions and different philosophers. So pretty much today we're going to be talking about the 3 levels of the human experience. The first one is the body, so the physical realm of the body, the chemical-based body, and pretty much your biology. The second part is going to be the human ego. The human ego, how I like to picture it, is what you believe to be what you're showing other people. So how you dress, your beliefs. It's kind of like if you were a television, it's the channel you're on. The channel is what you're showing the people, but it's not the whole television and everything that works behind it. It's just the mere image of the actual self. So that's pretty much the ego. And then the third thing is your higher consciousness, or the soul, how some religions and some people see it. More of the spiritual part of the human and the abstract part of all thinking through everything of the human being. So I'm going to go through all 3 and I'm going to try to explain it more in depth. So the first part is the human body, the biology to all human beings. This is the most basic part and the part that we pretty much completely understand. Since science is very touching and research and you have to touch things, we know pretty much how our biology of most of our body works. The human experience pretty much means how you're experiencing in different levels your life. So the human body in this spectrum of human experience is how we interact with other humans just using our body. How we look to other humans and how we think we look physically. So it's a more physical thing, and it's pretty much the easiest thing to grasp because once you see a human being, you obviously know what they look like. You might not know how they talk, what they believe, but you know what they look like. So the first part of the human experience is the body. It's the shuttle to all these other things. It's the capsule. It's what shows to the other humans and other creatures what you are, or what you are. The body has really nothing to do with who you truly are. It's more of it's like the front cover of a book. Your body is the front cover of a book. You can't tell anything inside of the book, but you can tell what the body looks like. So that's pretty much the body. The second part is the human ego. This is what most people have a tendency to misunderstand, but to make this clear, the human ego is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just what you perceive to others. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. When we are so involved in how other people perceive us and we want to be completely into social norms and we just want to fit in and our ego takes over our thinking, that's a bad thing. But it can be a good thing at times. The way people perceive us, if we're a loving person, our ego is going to show that to other humans, and they'll be catchable, and other people will be more lovable and more understanding, and you'll be known as the nice guy or the person who's always happy and smiling. That's part of the human ego. And that's kind of a deeper sense, but it can always be changing. It's changing at all times. So the human ego is pretty much what we show to the world and what we think we are. But it's not truly what we are. What we truly are is our consciousness, which brings us to point 3. The higher self, or the consciousness, the soul, however you want to explain it. Philosophical question, it's how can you prove that everyone else is actually alive and it's just not a simulation? You pretty much can only prove that you're alive because you know you're conscious. Because even when you go to sleep, you're still thinking, you dream. Or you can be quiet and think of something completely different. You can be in a completely different place that you're actually not in. And this consciousness, sometimes we have different levels. That's where the Om symbol has to do a lot with the different levels of consciousness. We are conscious right now in this plane, which is our world, our universe, our society. But you can go into a different level of consciousness and think about everything more in a spiritual sense. The way I've seen it and I've heard of it and I like to think about it is we're kind of like the ocean waves, our consciousness. We're part of the ocean. The ocean is the whole ocean. Everything is part of this ocean. And we're just showing up in waves. And we go back into the ocean and we show more in waves. But really the whole ocean is us and we are part of the ocean. So you are everything and everything is you. I know this goes against some religions where they think that everything is individualism, but it's really not if you really think about it. When it comes to consciousness, everything is everything. It's also how lucid dreaming or astral projection has to do with raising into a higher consciousness. It has also to do with meditation. When you meditate and you just think, you're into a meditative state. I've only been able to reach this state 3 or 4 times because I'm still getting used to meditating frequently and getting better at meditation. But when you're in this state, you can't really explain it, but it's just bliss. It's nothing. You feel like you're just in pure serenity and you're nothing. So that's part of the human experience that most people don't get to. And where most philosophers talk about enlightenment is to get to this higher conscious level that some people like the Buddha have reached that higher conscious level. It's a place where everything is everything. And that's the place where I strive to go and to be able to think in a more conscious way. But consciousness means a lot of things. A lot of people be like, be conscious about your actions, take charge and be conscious about what you're doing. It's what you think. So this third and most important part of the human experience is like the soul, or the conscious level of the human experience. It's the spiritual part, and it's where people become spiritually awakened. And it's probably the most important part. And that's mostly what this channel is all about, is to get to this being able to reach a higher conscious level. And there's many teachings by many different gurus and by many different philosophers on how to get there. But one that gets repeated over and over again is meditation, is being able to be mindful about your actions. All this helps you get into a higher conscious level. So what I want this video to really be about for you guys is to realize that there are 3 levels of the human experience, and not to always be so caught up on the ego, because the ego is very destructive at times. Instead of using it for good, we're using it for bad nowadays. So I want you guys to practice trying to reach this more blissful state of consciousness where everything is everything. You're the ocean and the ocean is you. It's being able to understand that we're everything, and together we can reach a happier state helping each other out. There's many different books and many different teachers that are much more advanced and have a lot more wisdom than me that can explain it better, but this was the best way that I think I could explain it. It was a short video to pretty much get us rolling into this topic of the 3 different levels. I will be doing 3 different videos on how to better yourselves in all 3 of these aspects: in the human body or the human realm, in the ego, and in consciousness. And these videos will help kind of wrap this video up in a more educational, and I'll give books that talk about it, but in a better, more in-depth conversation. Today was more of a talk to get the ball rolling. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check out my links below and follow me on all my social medias. And I hope you guys have a great day.